I'd been in the restaurant business 30 years when the idea of Feed America first came up. We were doing a Bible study on a book called Halftime by Bob Buford, exploring the differences between success and significance. I felt like God had something else in mind for me, and I didn't know what. So I made the commitment to go start volunteering at Feed the Children. So it opened my eyes to a completely different perspective about the world that I had been living in that I didn't know anything about. Everything was focused on the metropolitan areas. That was 55% of the hunger at that time in 1999. But the other 45% was harder to reach. It was in rural areas and in small towns. And Don and I started looking at how we could use our collective business experience to funnel some of that overabundance of food to areas that weren't getting it. And so we created the concept of Feed America First. We cleaned everything up and then a truck rolled up with 30,000 pounds of food. And I still, to this day, don't know where it came from. But somebody knew what we were doing, and somebody sent us a truckload of food. So we were officially a hunger relief agency, and then we had food to feed people. And so we got started at that point. Almost 40% of the food produced in the United States, that means grown, harvested, packaged, shipped, ends up in the landfill, 40%. And yet we're still feeding people all over the world. As the richest country on earth, we should, but we have enough food to waste 40%. And yet 1 in 4, 1 in 5, depending on which state, kids go to bed hungry. Why should any kid go to bed hungry when we have so much food that's being over-manufactured, so much so that we're throwing it away? So to me, that's when it became clear that it was a logistics problem. That's when Don and I started talking about how food should move and how we should move that around.
My journey with Feed America First started actually in 2009. And Tom was doing a food giveaway at the Nashville Fairgrounds, and we gave away food all day long. And I had the opportunity to meet Tom and a couple of the staff guys. In fact, at that time, I think he only had 2 other staff people. And I told Tom at that point in time, I said, hey, if you ever need help, let me know. Well, little did I know in 2011 that I would come on board as staff. I came on as a driver, and I was a part-time pastor and was looking to supplement my income. So I came on as a driver, and rest is history. Took food to a lady's car, and she was driving a very nice SUV. And in my mind, I was thinking, wow, she's driving a car nicer than mine. And she said, the car that you see me in, I'm living out of. My husband bought a year ago before he passed away, and we had to start living in the car because I could no longer afford the condo we were in. And any day now, this could be repossessed. And I knew at that moment that I knew nothing about hunger relief, but I sure wanted to, and I wanted to make a difference.
One of the big things he wanted me to learn was what hunger for somebody really was. He said, I've got somebody I want you to take food to once a week for a while so you can get a handle on this. And she had, I think, 4 children. And one day I got them alone and I said, are you getting something you like? Oh, yes, we like yogurt. And I said, oh, that's good. We have plenty of yogurt. And they said, oh, no, you don't understand. We have to have the yogurt. And I will never forget his answer. It's because we have to take medicine with it. And they got yogurt every time after that. And that's the best that I can tell you, because that was such a learning experience.
Of course, in April of 2020, Tom and I were sitting down talking about what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? And people need us now more than ever. We've got to buckle down and be everything that we say that we are. It's one thing to say you're faith-based. It's another thing to step out and be faith-based. And that's what we had to do. So we stepped out and did the things that we were called to do, and God just blessed our socks off. Not only did we have more food than we needed, he provided funding for us to upgrade every piece of equipment that we had. Because we were faithful, he was faithful. And because of that, we turned a corner at Feed America First. One of the greatest things that I've watched happen at Feed America First is post-COVID, we built the cooler and the freezer. It was a step of faith. It was a reversed capital campaign, so to speak, but we had no choice. We were working out of 5 refrigerated trailers before that, which could only hold 125 pallets. Our cooler now, which is 8,200 square foot, holds over 400 pallets. And the freezer holds over 100 pallets, which is 3,000 square foot. So it has radically changed the way that we do things at Feed America First, the way we give away food. Pre-COVID, we were giving away 70% non-perishable to 30% perishable. Now it's completely opposite. So we live the Loaves of Fishes story every single day.
Now, in my study of small towns and rural areas, I never found one that didn't have somebody giving their heart to feed their neighbor. So our approach was, if we could find a way to gather this overabundance and then get it to these people in small towns where we can provide them more and better food than they currently have access to, then they're going to have an impact on more neighbors.
About 27 years. It's a way to reach a community with not only food, but minister for the gospel. We started out with, I teach at a church school. We started out doing this for the kids to reach the community. And it got so big, we finally had to just send me out here one day a week.
Everything we do is evaluated by how many people we're going to be able to feed with whatever that project is. If it doesn't help us feed people, we don't need to be doing it.
We feed anywhere from 100 to 180 families every other week. And without these guys helping us down here, we wouldn't be able to feed that community. And Ben's, we've been coming down here, there's been 2 other ministries open up to help our community feed.
To me, that's the biggest joy I have, is seeing that people who need food get food.
It's not about you. This is God's. And as long as you stay in His will, you cannot fail, because He will not allow you to fail. So have faith, have courage, step up and do what He's asked you to do.
Knowing it's not all about me or about us. It's about the task at hand. It's about feeding the hungry. It's about doing the greater things.